Dementia caregivers have a 6-time increased risk of dementia. That number is enough to make any of us pause. If you feel like your brain is offline lately, it's not just the long hours, it's a biological response to the stress of caregiving. Welcome back to Dementia Decoded. I'm Jen Fink, and today we're moving past the fluff and looking at caregiving through the lens of integrated medicine. We're joined by Dr. Scott Blossom, an expert in the RECODE protocol, to talk about how we can protect our gut health, reset our sleep, and understand variants like ophthalmic Alzheimer's. We're here to make sure that while you're caring for your loved one, you aren't sacrificing your own future. So let's get into the strategy. Welcome back. I'm Jen Fink, and this is Dementia Decoded. We're taking the confusion out of the caregiving journey by turning the light on for the path ahead. It's about more than memories. It's about strategy, clarity, and heart. So let's get into today's episode.
I heard a startling stat just in the last few weeks that for family caregivers, their chances of having dementia themselves increased by a factor of 6 times when they are caregiving for somebody who has dementia. And to me, that just speaks to the rigors of it. And those of us that have been through it know what I'm talking about. I know in my time, I was raising kids who were school age, and I had all my family duties, I had my work duties, and then I would go and spend time with my mother most days. And so I was having 16-hour days for years. It was just that way. And I wouldn't have missed that time for anything, because it was really beautiful to be able to be there and be supportive at the end of her life. But nonetheless, the toll is so real that it makes perfect sense to me that we could have that kind of a stark, statistic that's come out.
Stresses, physical, mental, you're aging, you're not getting to the doctor yourself. I mean, I can see how those factors would increase your dementia risk 6-fold, which is terrifying. But there's also like the mental. One of the conversations we had in my support group was how living in their reality to keep them calm and happy, engaged, sometimes feels like you're losing your own mind. And
Right.
that can't be good either.
Right. Yeah. And we also know that anything that creates unremitting stress will change your gut health. For example, the stress hormones will actually shift your gut health. And the gut is now being appreciated more and more as something that has such a systemic impact. We're talking about blood sugar regulation. We're talking about mood. We're talking about sleep. We're also talking about appetite. And we're talking about, factors that influence reproductive health, even liver health and heart health. And so it makes sense that when you're looking at something that's a 24/7 job like caregiving, that over time, you can kind of, part of what I think makes you feel like you're going crazy is you acclimate to being in what would normally be an acute stress state, but then you have to learn to somehow titrate your life and your energy to being in it full time. And if that goes on for years, it's very easy for that to make real changes in the brain, like the hippocampus, some of the structures and the functions of even the blood-brain barrier will be mightily impacted by stress because of the inflammation that can come. And so you have these changes that are indicative of the kind of changes that produce cognitive decline that are simply a product of extraordinary stress, especially when it's stretched out over a long period of time. The difference between our parents and us, and especially our grandparents, were that there just wasn't the sheer density of toxic exposures that there are now, partly because there's a lot of new stuff floating around that was created by industry, that's in foods, that's in air and water, that's in products we use in our homes and on our skin, and et cetera, et cetera. And so we take a close look at different lab values that are going to indicate, okay, this person's having some kind of exposure. And it could be something like heavy metals. It could be something like, mycotoxins that come from mold that's, in the home or in a workspace, et cetera. And so we work our way through, and I often joke about this, that you could put everything on a bumper sticker. The Bredesen 7 is sometimes what it's called, and it is all the normal things of sleep and diet and exercise, and actually intermittent fasting is part of it, as well as things like brain stimulation, regulating stress, etc. Um, but we do it in a much, much more intensive way. And even people that are quite healthy and have good habits that come to me are surprised, at when you peel those subjects back and you're really trying to protect the brain, all the various details that you can look into, so that a person is really getting a lot of confidence, hopefully in the end, that they are putting together that foundational piece of support for themselves in a way that's actually going to move the needle.
It's easy to let your own health slide when you're in the trenches, but as Scott reminded us today, caregiving itself is essentially a health diagnosis that requires its own treatment plan. If you take one thing from this conversation, let it be this: your health is a tactical necessity. Whether it's adding more fiber to your plate, catching those sunset all walks with your dog, or just being more intentional about your light exposure, start today. Check the show notes for Scott's info and the links to the Dementia Decoded strategy checklist on Substack. If this episode helped you feel a little more in control, please hit the subscribe button and share this with another caregiver who needs to hear this, that they aren't going crazy, they're just under pressure. And if you liked this clip, be sure to watch the entire conversation.